Aging isn't about slowing down, it's about stepping into your power. Welcome to Don't Let the Old Lady In, the podcast where we challenge outdated beliefs about getting older and embrace wellness, self-love, and confidence. Your host is Lorie Gardner, a registered nurse and nationally board-certified health and wellness coach, and she is your guide on this journey to vibrant, mindful living. Each episode will explore topics that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, and how to navigate health issues in the healthcare system as you age, so you can live with energy, purpose, and joy. Let's get started. Here's your host, Lorie Gardner. Welcome back to Don't Let the Old Lady In podcast, which is for women who refuse to fade quietly into the background of midlife and beyond. Ladies, I'm Lorie Gardner. I'm your registered nurse and board-certified health and wellness coach, and I'm a passionate advocate for aging with confidence, radiance, and good health. A few weeks ago, I did a podcast on your menopause, your rules, and take control of your health and story. So this week, I'm doing something on menopause, but just a little bit different. It's on the creative mind, body, spirit menopause, how to awaken the woman within. So, trust me, this isn't another talk about hot flashes, hormones. This is about awakening your creative power, your intuitive energy, and your spiritual wisdom that's been waiting patiently for this very stage of life. Let's look at menopause in a new way, ladies. Most of what we've been told about menopause centers around loss, the loss of fertility, youth, energy, and even identity. But what if menopause isn't the end of something? It's the beginning of your next creative evolution. In the book Creative Menopause, the author describes this phase as a second spring. Isn't that a great way to think about it, ladies? A time when hormones that once directed your energy outward toward caretaking, nurturing, and building begin to turn inward. That inward turn isn't emptiness, it's space. Space for new ideas, spiritual growth, creative play, and rediscovering what makes your soul light up. This is the time to reinvent, not retreat. Ladies, this is empowering. So let's look at our mind. How do we shift from fear to curiosity? The mind can rule a lot in our lives, ladies. Menopause can certainly stir up fear naturally, fear of aging, of becoming invisible, of not knowing who we are anymore. But every creative process starts with uncertainty, so it's all okay. Think of it like a blank canvas, intimidating at first, but also full of possibility. When we stop trying to control every outcome and instead approach midlife with curiosity and say things like, what else might I create? What's next for me? The mind begins to expand instead of contract. Try this. When you feel anxious about aging, pause and ask yourself, what part of me is being invited to grow right now? That simple shift, ladies, turns fear into exploration, and that's where creativity begins. Okay, let's talk about the body. The body as a vessel for renewal. Yes, it's changing. That's undeniable, and it doesn't always feel so good, does it? But our bodies are incredibly wise and resilient. Menopause is the body's way of saying it's time to slow down, rebalance, and redirect your energy inward. This is a sacred transition. You are not drying up. You are distilling. All your life experience, compassion, and wisdom are becoming more potent, more focused, more essential. So to connect creatively with your body, move in ways that feel expansive. Dance, yoga, walking in nature. Nourish it with real food and hydration. Rest when you need to. Rest is essential. And thank your body for carrying you through every version of yourself so far. Creativity flows best through the body that feels loved and respected, not criticized or compared. And remember, in previous podcasts talking about thoughts, what you think your body hears. So let's speak kindly to our bodies, and it'll respond well. How about that spirit and tapping into divine feminine energy? Menopause opens a spiritual doorway. When the outer noise of productivity and perfection quiets down, your inner voice finally has space to speak. This is your divine feminine energy rising, the intuitive, wise, creative force that's been simmering beneath the surface for decades. You might find yourself craving solitude or deeper conversations. You might find yourself feeling drawn to art, writing, gardening, and music. You might find yourself noticing synchronicities or inner guidance more clearly. This is your expansion time, ladies. These are all signs that your soul is waking up and inviting you to create not just art, but a new life story. The spiritual lesson of menopause is surrender. Not giving up, but letting go of what no longer fits, such as roles, expectations, and outdated self-images. When you surrender, you make room for magic. So what are some practical ways to awaken that creativity, ladies? You don't have to be an artist to live a creative life. Creativity is any act that brings more aliveness into your world. Listen, I decided I wanted to paint because my favorite thing as a girl, and that's one thing to look at too, what did you love to do creatively as a young girl? Bring it back. I loved when I got a paint by number set for Christmas. Love it. So what do you think I've started? I've started doing paint by number, and there's some fabulous kits and things to do with that. That might lead into more creativity and freehand, whatever, but look at something you might have done as a young girl that you want to bring back. But here are a few ways to nurture that creativity and that aliveness in you. Morning journaling. Start your day writing freely for 10 minutes. No editing, just thoughts, dreams, and insights. This is a big benefit. Look at doing meditation or breath work. Stillness opens the channel to intuition. How about a little creative play? Try something new without judgment. Paint, cook, rearrange your space, sing, anything. What is it you want to do that you haven't done? Look at mindful movement. Dance, stretch, or walk while focusing on your breath and emotions. I love to prescribe for a lot of my clients sensory walks where you find a place that you're kind of immersed in nature, whether that's in the mountains, it could be just a walking trail by a pond, and you walk with intention, with breath, listening for every sound, the wind, the birds. That is another way to open and become more expansive. And connection's another good way. Share this season with other women. Midlife creativity grows stronger in community. That's the one thing that was common whenever I have my signature course, and this goes for a few months, and we meet generally every week. Most of the testimonies were involving loving being with other women, going through similar things, and having that kind of support. So that's important to have that connection. Every act of self-expression, big or small, strengthens your spirit and reminds you that you are still becoming. I don't care what age you are still becoming. So this is the power of the second spring, ladies. Menopause is not the end of vitality. It's the redefinition of it. It's an invitation to reconnect with your inner artist, healer, and wise woman. So let this season be your second spring. Let's awaken the creative, soulful, powerful woman you were always meant to be. And above all, don't let the old lady in. If you want to work with me and get in a group of like-minded women, feel free to reach out and contact me. But don't let that old lady in. She's the voice that says, you're too old, you're too tired, too late. Well, I'm here to say, you're not. You're just beginning again. It's a more authentic, radiant way. And with that, I'm going to end this by saying, let's gather together and create more of ourselves, become more. Share this with a friend. Create your own little local groups as well, just to enhance this connection we all have together. And if this podcast resonated with you, ladies, please feel free to share it. I'd love to hear your comments. If you hop on and follow me, I'd also appreciate that. But until next time, don't let that old lady in. And that's a wrap on today's episode of Don't Let the Old Lady In. Remember, age is just a number. Your mindset, energy, and passion are what truly define you. If this episode spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend. Subscribe and leave a review so we can continue this journey together. You are strong, vibrant, and unstoppable. Until next time, keep living boldly, loving yourself fully, and most importantly, don't let the old lady in.